twist. We get a shot back, we can show you that one again. But it's where two players lined up are actually twisting. See them? They crisscross, and that is literally an illegal defense. Referees caught it, called it on the Rampage. Sometimes you'll be able to get away with that. The Fury actually have a package in that's very similar to that. But because Grand Rapids actually offsets their fullback, he's not right behind the quarterback, you can run a twist like that up front and get away with it.
Polk, the injury occurred July 15th of 2000, playing against the Charleston Swamp Foxes. He tried to break up a pass, landed head first in the sideline barrier. In fact, he was paralyzed for a moment from the waist down, and it was really a scary sight. They thought his rehab would take a long time, maybe 5 months, but he sped through it and amazed his doctors with a full recovery and was back in about 5 weeks. So really a great story, and certainly in our coverage of the Detroit Lions, Jim, we have seen our share of paralyzed players and near paralyzed players and amazing recoveries. Reggie Brown, of course, an amazing comeback.
In any football game, you remember the Penn State youngster, Adam Talaferro, who against Ohio State was paralyzed and taken off the field, and they felt that he would never walk again, and yet, what was it, about 5 months later, he walked out of the medical center at Penn State. And that's just miraculous also. Reggie Brown and then this guy, JoJo Polk. It's good to see. The great treatment that these guys get from the certified athletic trainers these days is remarkable.
Meantime, we have another stoppage at play. Our referee, Bill Lamagna, is over at the Rampage side of the field.
You know, they might be trying to get a determination on why the twist was ruled illegal. And the referees are over trying to explain it to Mike Trigg and his staff.
Well, this coming Friday at 7:30, the Detroit Fury will battle the Milwaukee Mustangs. The first 2,500 fans will receive a Detroit Fury hard hat, compliments of Carhartt. Parking lot opens at 5:30 for tailgating. We're going to get a timeout here while they continue to discuss things. The Rampage leading the Detroit Fury in the first quarter, 3-0. We are at Van Andel Arena in Grand Rapids. We have not seen any more action because we got officials discussing things. Mouse Davis discussing now with the officials. We're trying to find out exactly what it is. May have something to do with an illegal substitution. This was an issue that came up last week in a Rampage game. Matt Derry down on the field checking it out, see if we can find out what the heck is going on.
Well, they have an official here, actually, that's not on the field. He is called the substitution official.
Yep.
Because you are allowed certain substitutions, but only in different times of the game, and players have to play both ways, so it's kind of complicated.
Well, here we go. First down at the Rampage 14-yard line. Levy, the motion man. And the throw is caught by Tommy Boyd. That's a great catch. He reached out and hauled it on the fingertips. Good throw out in front by Simptonfelder. And it's very close to the first down at the 4-yard line. Looks like he's got it. Oh, first and goal.
It's a little post cut. And watch the hands catch. Tommy Boyd, we featured him at the top of the show, Mark, having to pick it up because of the injury to Robert Gordon. And he has been in the first quarter the go-to guy, really. He's been most dangerous, whereas Gordon used to be. Now it's Boyd.
Boyd, 3 catches, all for touchdowns last week against Indianapolis. Simptonfelder looking around, throws, and just threw that one away. Everybody covered.
I wanted to go to Boyd, and Boyd just could not get away from the defender, Tristan Moss. I mean, Moss just manhandled Boyd at the line of scrimmage, and when you can't break away and separate, at the top of the screen, check it out. Watch how he is just manhandled by Tristan Moss. Wants to break inside. Moss has good position. Boyd is stuck, and Simptonfelder has nowhere to go.
Moss is out of Western Michigan, by the way. So it'll be second down, goal to go, and a 3-0 Grand Rapids lead. Quick throw to Tommy Boyd, and that one is over his head and then across the boards. Again, Boyd arguing that he is being held, that time by JoJo Polk, but no call. It'll be third down and goal to go.
Boyd tried to put a move on him there with the old arm over. and Polk actually got his hands on him and held him a little bit for the fade route. Take a look at it. You see the little fake inside, and there's the hold on the face mask that Boyd wanted, but the ball was overthrown and uncatchable. And because Polk held him up that much, that's the reason Boyd wasn't able to get deep enough to catch that face.
So a big third down here because they don't want to have to settle for 3, especially with the kicking problems of late. Simpton-Felder to Gordon, and he's got it. Touchdown, Detroit. Robert Gordon hauls it in for the score, and that is for Gordon, his 18th of the year.
What that is a great throw, but it's also a nice pattern. You've got Gordon isolated, and especially because he's the man in motion, comes all the way around. Now he's in motion, inside position by Polk, and Gordon is able to bust it outside. And once he gets that step, Simpton-Felder gets the ball out, and it's 6 points for the Fury.
Kent Baker, first game with the Fury. He is a brother of Craig Baker, the former Michigan Wolverine, and he is the 3rd kicker that Mouse Davis has employed this season. It started out with Galecki and then went to Billy Stojanovic and then cut Stojanovic. They actually thought they had Craig Baker signed, but it turned out that Baker had signed and was signed with an Arena 2, an A2 team, and for whatever reason he couldn't get free. So Kent Baker is now the kicker, Craig's brother, and the Fury really have struggled in kicking this year. In fact, they are the only team in the Arena Football League without a field goal.
They are a revolving door when it comes to kickers. 3 kickers used in 7 games, and Fred Galecki at the beginning of the year was the man, but he had to go through a tryout situation prior to even making the squad to open up the year. Then Billy Stojanovic came on board. All of those field goals were missed by both, and now we've got Kent Baker, the 3rd in a line. And the other thing Mouse Davis wants from his kickers is on his kickoffs.
Right.
Absolutely. That's what caused Billy Stojanovic a little bit of a problem, is that he didn't have strong enough leg to really get the ball to the net. What Mouse wants to do is get the ball not just to the net, but have that ball on kickoffs bounce off the frame. If you do that, that ball will bounce all kinds of funny ways, and it can create offensive opportunities. So it's not just the field goal situation, but the strength of the leg on kickoffs to try to get that thing and hit the frame.
7-3, the kickoff now. Ricky Ross, normally their kick return man, is out with an injury. Timo Adams is back there, fields it off the net. Adams slows up, left side, good coverage, and he's going to be brought down inside the 10-yard line. And good kick that time by young Mr. Baker in his debut. Got to make Mouse feel happy.
Take a look at the touchdown again. There's Polk, and he's coming in motion, man coverage with Gordon. Now see how Gordon gets that separation, and he's the primary go-to guy right from the snap, because Simpton-Felder has to wait. If that defender stays on the outside shoulder, the inside shoulder rather, and Gordon breaks away, that ball's got to get out now to take away from the defender getting underneath that route.
And a draw play. They run the football. That goes for very little yardage. Lincoln Coleman, who earned a trip to the Super Bowl 28, when he was with the Dallas Cowboys. He's a big one, 265-pounder out of Baylor. Played with the Cowboys back in the early to mid-90s. So it'll be 2nd down and long.
Gonzalez Allen makes a nice play there, too, because, you know, if that guy is able to break the line of scrimmage, he gets decent yardage. But Gonzalez Allen played with his head up and got a tackle.
Being behind is nothing new to the Rampage. Dolezal throwing, and Kevin Scott in the coverage. They call that one a catch by Terrell Shaw out of southern Mississippi. And a good throw by Dolezal. That'll be the final play of the opening quarter here in Grand Rapids. It's the battle of the interstate highways. We're just not sure whether it's 96 or 75. At any rate, it's 7-3, the Fury leading. Mark champion Jim Brandstatter back in Grand Rapids for the start of the second quarter. Let's send it down to Matt Derry.
All right, guys, thanks a lot. Two things. Number one, Demo Odoms of Grand Rapids was illegal on the field. That was the problem before, an illegal substitution. They told the head coach from Grand Rapids to get him off the field for a play. The other thing to watch tonight, too, Robert Gorton and Arcal Trulick, a couple of guys before the game, talking about these pads right here. They're only 3 inches wide, right at 3 inches. That's the Arena League rule. A lot more fluffier and pillowy at the Palace, according to the Fury players. Send it back to you.
All right, Matt. Well, most things are fluffier at the Palace. You say?
Yeah.
By the way, you know, this Van Andel Arena was built or designed, Rossetti and Associates, the same company that helped build the Palace.
Well, they've got very similar suites. It's a smaller building, but they've got very similar suites to the Palace.
Dolezal hands off inside on the first play of the second quarter as Rampage going the opposite direction now, pick up about 4 yards. Another area where the Fury have not excelled is in the running game. In fact, they're minus 23, but the Rampage can run the football occasionally.
Now they just pound it up in the front there, and you know, you get 3-4 yards out of a running play in this league. That's a darn good first down play.
Yeah, Coleman's already had 11 carries this year for over 50 yards. Lincoln Coleman. Second down, Dolezal to throw it. Flag down. Pass is bobbled, but we'll say it's a catch by Shaw. There's a Demo Adams at the 15-yard line.
Then you're going to get a call against Grand Rapids. Looks like it's holding. Yes, it is. So this one will be nullified.
Yep. Demo Odoms talking it over with Tommy Boyd.
Talk about Coleman rushing. He had a 27-yarder this year. Now, when you're running the football and you put 27 yards, that's like having an 80-yarder in a
still second down.
big game.
Their other fullback is Chris Ryan, a 300-pounder who had an 18-yard touchdown run against Tampa Bay last week.
The holding is up there as Trulock gets inside. See how he's tackled?
Oh, absolutely.
No, Trulock takes the inside go. We saw it earlier where Marvin Thomas of Detroit was caught holding because the defender took the inside go, and you cannot block him if you don't get your body in front of him.
Second and long, and a 7-3 Fury lead. Dolezal to Shaw on the near side, and it is caught. I'll tell you what, everything he throws is down low, and Shaw falls out in front of Kevin Scott at the 22-yard line.
Well, right now, Arcal Trulock is having himself a day. He's getting pressure on the quarterback from that right defensive end spot. Dolezal just barely got that off. So the big key is that right defensive end. He's at the top of your screen. Look at that. Good hand outside, knocks the offensive blocker inside, and there he is with a hit on the quarterback. Dolezal, here's the feet coming, and if you keep doing that through 4 quarters, that quarterback will not be as effective.
Third and still about 8. Back to throw is Dolezal going for it all. He's got Shaw wide open, and he takes it in for the touchdown. He had to wait on it to come down. It was underthrown slightly, but he got behind Kevin Scott and Antoine Worthman that time and takes it in for the touchdown, does Shaw, and that is his first touchdown. In fact, he didn't have a catch coming into this game, and that's one of the things that Dolezal has done this year. That is now 7 different receivers. He's had 6 different receivers this season with 10-plus completions, and that's the first for Shaw.
Mix up between Worthman and Scott because the receiver should never have split them and gotten that wide open.
And now the extra point as the Rampage take the lead. Goins knocks it up and good. Well, 12:28 to go, and a busted play in that normally very good Fury secondary has given the Rampage back the lead on their home field. It's 10-7 in Grand Rapids.
What's next?
We know sweat on hardwood, blood on ice, flesh on diamonds, rings and tights. We know hearts beat stronger, hopes hope harder. For victory, our souls we barter. We know karmic waves of pride and glory, and when pain's the only story, we know the tears you're concealing. You know we know the feeling.
Terrell Shaw with the touchdown catch, and the Rampage now lead at 10-7. Dolezal with his 32nd touchdown pass of the year, as Brian Goins will kick it off to Robert Gordon. This one is short. Gordon fielding. About 6 yards in. He gets free. He's out across the 20. And a good return for Robert Gordon. And again, there is the key. If you don't get that ball to the net, it's a much easier return, and Gordon brings it into Rampage territory down inside near the 23.
And that's exactly why Mouse Davis wanted a stronger leg in Kent Baker than he had in Bill Stoyanovich. There it is, short of the net. Robert Gordon keeps his head up, fields the ball looking downfield, rather with his back to the field, which he'd have to do if the ball were off the net, and he turns out to get a return past midfield, giving the Fury just a 24-yard field to work with.
Got a nice block from his fullback, Andy Chilcote, that time. Gordon in motion. Simptonfelder to Gordon, underthrown, and JoJo Polk knocks it away with the right hand. It's taken away just a little underthrown that time by Simptonfelder. Let's take a look at our bell ringer of the week, brought to you by Bell Tire. Here it comes. And oh, what a great block by Chuck Levy. And he's proud of it, and well, he should be. That is our bell ringer of the week, brought to you by Bell Tire. Nobody comes close. Nobody's closer. That was a heck of a shot.
Yeah, when you get a guy coming back on a crackback and you hit him properly up around the shoulders, don't take him at the legs, you get solid contact, man, it's like feeling like hitting a home run.
Second down, look out. Simptonfelder just lets it go, and it is incomplete. He felt the pressure coming that time on that defensive line.
Not only is it
the linebacker Marcellus Mostella.
Yeah, Mostella is the guy that's getting in. And you watch, there's the center, but look at, that's that twist again. And Chilcote is late getting to it. Now this time they didn't call the twist, but you saw the man over the center drive straight through the center, and then the linebacker who's rushing actually crossed behind where the center's block was, and he actually rubs the fullback off on the center. And that, in some circles, is considered a twist game, and that's illegal. They called it once, they didn't call it that time.
Third down and 10 coming up, and Simptonfelder is going to call a timeout here, trailing 10-7 with 10:24 to go in the opening half. Mouse Davis wondering why the timeout. Well, they'll talk it over. A big third down. The Fury would like to regain control of this football game, trailing 10-7 in Grand Rapids in the first meeting between these two interstate rivals. Well, the Detroit Fury looking for their first road victory, and also, more importantly, just to stop the losing streak and get their third win of the year at the halfway point of their inaugural season with Mouse Davis.
Big third down play here.
You bet. 3rd and 10 at the Rampage 24-yard line. Robert Gordon in motion. Simptonfelder looking his way, and he over the shoulder. Gordon caught it! Oh, what a catch!
Man, what a catch!
Robert Gordon with his second touchdown of the night, and a terrific catch over the shoulder.
That one came off a deflection. He had it over his shoulder. It bounced and hit his shoulder, bounced straight up again, and Gordon was able to keep concentration and hold on. Man, oh man, watch him in motion. He gets by Polk, breaks it to the outside. But the key here is watch the deflection. Stays on his hand and makes the play, falling down. That is a great catch.
You bet. And now Baker for the extra point. And it is perfect and through. And back and forth we go. The Fury regain the lead. Robert Gordon, well, we talked about it, Jim, back in the first quarter, that it is important for him to get back into the flow of things offensively. I would say he has done so. 2 touchdown catches already for Robert Gordon, and as you see, 19 on the season. So 28 touchdown passes by Simptonfelder, and 19 of them have gone to number 84.
Well, the key, too, is the good protection. Simptonfelder feels confident now that Gordon can make plays, so he throws it up in his area. When he's healthy, he gets off the line better. He's in better condition, so in the fourth quarter, he's able to go harder. And that's one of the things that Mouse Davis talked to him about, was the fact that Gordon, while he was hurt, really wasn't able to get off the line of scrimmage, wasn't able to beat a press cover guy at the line of scrimmage. Now that he's healthy, he's able to do that and get open.
Well, in fact, Robert Gordon talked about that ankle injury and how it affected him.
The injury, I had a hurt ankle, and you know, maybe I should have played one game, but you know, I'm a football player, and you know, I try to toughen up, and you know, for my team, you know, slow me down a little bit, and you know, that's where other guys, you know, step up and make plays. And we have guys that can step up like Tommy Boyd and Chuck Levy, and you know, it slowed me down. But you know what, Robert's at full speed right now, so I'm looking to make some more plays and get back on track.
Yeah, in fact, Mouse Davis agreed with Robert Gordon that he, in fact, should have sat him down perhaps for one game. Here's the kickoff. And Demo Odoms bringing it out. Right side, look out. Stays on his feet across the 20 and into the boards. Chuck Levy bangs him with help from Marvin Thomas that time. So that's where the Rampage will take it over. Well, you can wrap up your race day with NASCAR Victory Lane. It's an hour of highlights, reaction, and analysis from the weekend of the Busch Series and Winston Cup circuits. NASCAR Victory Lane tomorrow night at 9, and it's on Fox Sports Net. Rampage at their 20-yard line, trailing 14-10 after the 24-yard touchdown pass from Simpson-Felder to Robert Gordon. The second time those two have hooked up tonight. Oh, a good game, and against a good Grand Rapids team, and now play stopped. Going to get a timeout here.
Dolezal didn't have the right personnel in, and he had to call the timeout.
So Clint Dolezal out of East Texas State in his 6th AFL season. But Robert Gordon has been the star so far, along with his partner there, Mr. Simpson-Felder. 14-10 Detroit.
Well, after Detroit scored, Robert Gordon giving them the 14-10 lead. Grand Rapids comes back with a nice kickoff return. Demo Odoms here again. Ball does not hit the net. He's able to get his head up, look downfield, break it to the outside, gets by Vonsalles Allen, then gets drilled by 3 people. But still, that's a return out to the 20.
And there's a quick slant pass. That was almost a pick play that time. A pass is dropped, however, by Rodney Blackshear out of Texas Tech in his 5th AFL season.
Try to get Blackshear running toward the quarterback. It's a quick throw, and what you try to do, it's almost a wide receiver screen, where your slot man gets inside him, gets downfield, throws a block, and then you throw the ball to Blackshear coming toward the quarterback. He gets underneath one block and uses great speed to try to beat the rest of the defense to the end zone.
So Dolezal's numbers, he comes in 59% of the year, over 1,500 yards. Second down throw, that one on the money to the Detroit 20-yard line of Michael Baker out of West Virginia. Baker, their leading receiver, 40 catches coming in, 7 of them for touchdowns, and he last season was the Rampage MVP as well as their Iron Man of the Year.
Well, Baker's the kind of guy, though, that's so tough because he's so big. He's 6'2", 222. Here, stopping in front of Kevin Scott. But look at the strength and size difference. Scott is just 5'10" and 185. Scott goes in there and just hangs on to a much bigger man.
Not only that, he didn't round off the route. It was a good sharp cut and a handoff to Chris Ryan, the big 300-pound fullback out of Clark College. And he said he had an 18-yard touchdown run against Tampa Bay. He also had 2 touchdowns running against Carolina, had a 2-yard run against Milwaukee. So he has been effective 4 rushing touchdowns this season for Chris Ryan. It is 14-10 as the Fury on top. Clint Dolezal, the quarterback out of East Texas State, didn't even play last season. Dolezal back to throw it and kind of sidearms that ball, incomplete, thrown slightly behind Rodney Blackshear that time. Well, he kind of, that was a definite sidearm throw there, and well, Dolezal is yelling out at Blackshear. He thought he should have caught it.
Yeah, and I think that Dolezal is getting a little bit of a taste of Arkel Trulock. There you see Kevin Scott playing a little, or excuse me, that's Antoine Worthman playing a little bit tighter. Ball's thrown a little bit low, but the reason of that is that he's got his eye on Arkel Trulock, who's working against Joe Wiley over there, the left tackle, and Trulock's having a good night.
That's one reason that Mouse brought him in. He's got good speed, back to throw, and this one is knocked away by Kevin Scott at the 6-yard line, intended again for Michael Baker, but a terrific defensive play for the former Detroit Lion, Kevin Scott.
You bet. That's just good coverage right there, because Dolezal had some time. He's got a funny motion when he throws it, but watch Kevin Scott. Runs with the receivers, head up, ball's in there. As soon as the ball arrives, he gets his hands in and rips down on both arms, not allowing the receiver to clamp onto the football. That's just textbook defensive back when you're playing from behind a man. Head up, watch the ball arrive at the same time as the ball.
So another big 3rd down play coming up. Dolezal, pump fake, flag down, hit as he throws, and guess who got him, Jim?
Arkel Trulock.
You bet. He was belted by a big number 53. And let's check out the penalty now, and it's going to be, oh my,
Holding against the Fury?
defensive holding.
Man.
The call. Holy mackerel. And Trulock is very disappointed after a terrific defensive play. He has really been a factor in this football game.
We had a defensive hold on a pull and shoot by number 40 on the defense. 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Are you wondering what a pull and shoot is?
Benny
now, aren't
Goods,
you?
the guilty party.
Well, the pull and shoot is where one of the
That's
linemen.
shooting, isn't it?
No,
Oh,
watch
okay.
one of the linemen up here. It'll be Benny Goods. He's going to pull one of the linemen this way to get a man through. And that's what's called a pull and shoot.
I don't know about that.
And that's kind of a weak call, but you know, the intention was there to do it. So the referee threw the flag on the intent.
First down from the 9-yard line. Dolezal to Baker off the right side. Gets inside the 5-yard line before he is roughed up by Rio Wells, among others. Dolezal throws from a number of different angles, doesn't he?
He really does. He's got the old Brett Favre thing going, where Favre will throw it underhanded, sidearm, overhanded, any way he needs to get it done. And Dolezal's got that same kind of ability.
You know, he's had 2 games in his AFL career where he had 10 touchdown passes in a game. He also passed for 479 yards against Milwaukee a couple of years ago. That's an AFL record.
Even in this league, that's
a lot.
Staggering.
14-10, the Fury leading, but look out, the Rampage on the move. 2nd down play. Dolezal flips, and Worthman and Boyd converging on the receiver that time.
Well, that's
Blackshear.
that ball is out of there late. You can't, as a quarterback, throw that slant cut to a wide man late. You've got to get that out of there on time. Guess who was kind of in his face? Trulock again. Now watch Dolezal. See, that ball should be out now. He's taking 2, 3. He's just kind of stutter stepping backwards. It's the first time he plants where that ball's got to be out. On the 3rd plant, it's not going to be open.
3rd down situation again. Back to throw, left corner of the end zone. Flags down. Kevin Scott's going to be flagged here, I do believe.
Yep.
Going to be holding on the receiver, Michael Baker. So the penalties really mounting up for the Fury.
Interference. Well, I told you earlier in the game, I thought that the Fury secondary is playing real physical with these receivers for Grand Rapids, and they had their hands all over them. This time, Kevin Scott, we showed you earlier where he played from behind.
Pass interference, number 3 on the defense. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
This time, as Kevin Scott is playing with his back to the quarterback, so he really can't keep an eye on the ball. So all he can do is play with the receiver. Here it is right here. Watch Baker. Now, he gets his back turned. Now he just got to grab on. If you get your back turned to the quarterback as a defensive back, you got problems, and that's what Kevin ran into there.
So it is a 1st and goal situation. Ryan gets the toss. The big 300-pounder is no match as he takes it into the end zone for the touchdown, and that is his 5th rushing touchdown of the year.
That's a good play by Grand Rapids. It was a sweep, and Arkel Trulock actually was there to help make a play, but he just couldn't wrap up the big, heavy fullback. He just couldn't get it done. He's been playing hard, and you got to play both ways in this game. And getting down near the end of the first half, Trulock maybe gassed a little bit, and he just wasn't able to get out there, even though he got a hand on the fullback.
Ryan had 9 rushing touchdowns last year, and he already has 5 this season. Well, the extra point by Brian Goins is good. And the Rampage back on top in a seesaw battle here in Grand Rapids. Now 17-14.
Take a look at the touchdown. Just a pitch sweep. Watch Trulock. He's there, but he's just a step slow, unable to hang on to the big 300-pounder. That's good body lean, and you see how he protects the ball. And there's a guy that's got some running back skills right here, and it's just a pitch sweep, and he goes in over here. But this is the key defender. If he gets outside Trulock and makes the play, then it's not a touchdown. But Trulock is slow to get there, and Ryan just runs through the tackle for 6.
Chris Ryan, who has a couple of pet pit bulls, appropriate, I guess, for a 300-pound fullback, and their names are Cash and Money.
Cash and Money.
Cash and Money.
Guess where his head's at.
I tell you. I know we got a little bit hanging over. I know where that's at.
Yeah.
But
well, when you're 300
well.
pounds, when you're 300 pounds, you're going to have a little bit of that hanging over now.
Yeah,
Give me a break.
I guess so. Well, fans, Detroit Fury individual game tickets are still available as low as $8. So hurry up and call now at 248-377-0100. Detroit Fury football, absolute football, contain chaos.
Ooh, good.
Wasn't chaos? Wasn't that the thing in Get Smart? Wasn't that the the bad
either that or
guys?
James Bond.
I think it was in
No, Spectre was James Bond.
Here's the kickoff to Robert Gordon. 2 touchdown catches tonight for Gordon, and he runs up the back of his own man, and Chuck Levy, and we got a flag flying from deep secondary, and now we got a little extracurricular going on at the Tommy Boyd mixing it up.
Gary Eisen and Tommy Boyd have pleasantries down there at the 25-yard line.
And it appears this one is going to go against Detroit as well.
Usually you get into this situation, it's holding, and that's what the preliminary is.
Boy, Mouse has got to be wondering what is going on with all the penalties. Better not read lips.
Well, in a 17-14 tight game, you just
On the
can't
return,
afford.
holding number 8.
Oh, they
Half
call
the
it.
distance from the spot of the foul.
Well,
First
now,
down.
wait a minute.
Why would they throw the flag?
No, Tommy Boyd was on the near side
25-yard line
of the field.
Yeah.
He wasn't even where the flag was thrown.
How do you figure that?
I don't know. Now that backs the Fury up to the 4-yard line.
In a tight game, and this is a tight one, 17-14, Grand Rapids with 2:53 left in the half. You know, you just can't afford to be giving up yardage. You've got to play discipline, and you can't make penalties.
Boyd and Levy and Gordon are the wide receivers. Gordon, the offensive specialist, and Simptonfelder is going to burn another timeout here.
Timeout, Detroit. Second timeout.
Well, Simptonfelder, you know, he's shown flashes of really solid play, and then other times he seems to be a little uncertain out there, and I'm sure Mouse Davis says, well, I put in so many plays for him. It takes some time to learn everything, as he talks it over with Chuck Levy as well as Simptonfelder. Fans, authentic Detroit Fury helmets and jerseys are now available at PalaceNet.com or any Palace locker room store. Get your authentic Fury merchandise today.
The one thing about Simptonfelder is when he gets pressured, he has a tendency to throw the ball into some trouble. And that's where a lot of his turnovers, interceptions have come from. And that's the one thing Mouse is trying to, keep him away from is throwing that ball into trouble. Read the route, read the defense on your 3-step drop, and get the ball to the right guy. Because when you hesitate and you make that throw late, you're giving the defense the extra opportunity to make a play on the ball.
He who hesitates is lost.
Here you go. Where'd that come from? Winston Churchill or something? Or Vince Lombardi?
Maxwell Smart.
Could have come from him. Would you believe 2 cops in a rowboat?
2:38 to go before the half, and the Rampage enjoying the lead, 17-14. Simptonfelder to throw underneath, wide open. Gordon, how does that happen? He's across the 25 and into the 18-yard line before he is hauled down by Tristan Moss. What a busted defense by the Rampage.
Gordon just delayed his route and dragged all the way across diagonally underneath the deep defense. Here's the defense right here, and Gordon just makes a little move back over and over here, and nobody goes with him. I mean, he just goes out underneath and he comes running back, and there he is. And
Wow.
nobody even covered him. Boy, you got to keep your eye on number 84.
You bet. First down inside the 18-yard line. Levy in motion. Simptonfelder to Levy. A wide open touchdown. It is that easy sometimes, as he beat Charles Butler Jr. easily.
Now, this is a great read again by Simptonfelder. Gordon was in the slot, and Levy was the motion man. And he saw Levy downfield getting a step on Butler, who had no chance speed-wise of staying with Levy. Simptonfelder just put it up in the air and let Levy run underneath it.
So the 18-yard touchdown puts the Fury on top. And now the extra point by Kent Baker, the new kicker, signed literally yesterday. And he chips it up and has knocked through all 3 of the extra points. So the Fury back on top here in Grand Rapids. It has been an exciting game. 21-17 our score now.
You'll see Levy coming here in motion, and he just breaks it up the field that way. Butler just can't stay with him. The key, though, is the ability of Simptonfelder to see it. He sees it right now, puts the ball up. Levy runs underneath it. I mean, it's that simple when your quarterback and wide receiver are on the same page. You see, Simptonfelder loves it when he's got that. And Mouse Davis, business as usual. That's the way we draw it up in the locker room, men.
You know he loves it when the passing attack is working. And Simptonfelder now with 3 touchdown passes tonight. 2 of them to Robert Gordon, and now the 3rd going to Levy. And Simptonfelder now on the season has 29 touchdown passes. For Levy, that is his 6th touchdown catch of the year. He had one last week against Indiana.
The one thing about Grand Rapids, though, Mark, as we head down near halftime, this team is used to playing in tight games. I mean, their margins of victory in their 5 wins have been 1, 8, 17, 3, and 2 points. So they are familiar with games going down to the wire.
Yeah, in fact, Grand Rapids at 5-1 have only outscored their opponents by 6 points. That's amazing. Baker and Shaw are the deep men. They keep changing up the return man, and that's a good kick by Baker. That hits high off the net. Shaw, the receiver.
Look out.
On a great block from Baker, and he's belted from behind at the 20-yard line by Chilcote. Oh, what a shot by Chilcote that time, as Marvin Thomas had him locked up at the 20-yard line.
Well, the one thing you can't do on returns is let that return man get outside of your coverage. Twice we've seen the Fury allow the return to get outside down the sidelines. You want to funnel them into the middle of the field, into the defense. And now watch this. Here it is. He's coming outside. As a defense coming down on a kickoff, you got to funnel him to the middle of the field where your coverage is.
1 minute remaining before halftime, and it's Bennett Andy. Now the Fury will be called on to not give up any points in his final 60 seconds. Brent Dolezal with 1 touchdown pass tonight, throwing to the near sidelines and completing into Fury territory at the 24 to Baker.
Chuck Winters gets a chance in the ball game. University of Michigan safety wearing number 35. First time we've seen him in the last minute of the first half.
It'll be 2nd down coming up. About 4.
He gives a little better size matchup with Baker, though. Winters a 200-pounder, and Baker at 222. Gives a little bit better matchup size-wise with what people feel the Grand Rapids franchise player.
Dolezal puts Shaw in motion, and a tackle is made on the 20-yard line.
Kevin Scott read the play, Mark. He had it dead to rights on Demo Adams. That's that wide receiver screen. And Kevin Scott failed to execute by making the tackle. Watch Scott. There he is. He's ready to make the tackle. You got to make that tackle. Execute on defense.
Didn't wrap him up, and Odom's hauled it in. It's short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and less than a yard. Dolezal sidearms it to Odoms up the near sideline as he danced along near the boards inside the 10-yard line, and he had about 5 or 6 yards of real estate. A little mix-up there, as Worthman and Scott are talking about.
Second time we've seen Worthman and Scott get mixed up. You see the man in the middle, but where's Worthman? He's not even in the picture. There he is coming in late. Antoine's got to get much tighter to Odoms, the wide receiver there. he doesn't need to get to the middle of the field and help anybody. He's got to work his own side of the field.
Inside a minute, that clock stops, so there's 30 seconds. In a 21-17 Detroit lead, but on the doorstep again, the Rampage. And there's the flip to the 6-yard line, and the quick catch and the quick tackle by Antoine Worthman against Demo Odoms. And again, the Rampage missing 3 of their key players offensively. Ricky Ross out with a concussion. Willis Marshall out another month or so with a PCL partial tear. And Deion Mitchell an ACL tear, and he's gone for the entire season. 25 seconds left, and can the Fury hang on to this lead before halftime?
Detroit Fury football is brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan and Blue Care Network. We're listening, we're learning, for you, for life. By MRCC, Union Carpenters and Millwrights. The best training, the best pay, the best future. 1-888-HAMMER-9. And by the Training Room, the official athletic training and rehabilitation provider for the Detroit Fury.
Welcome to halftime at Van Andel Arena in Grand Rapids. The Detroit Fury with a 21-17 halftime lead. Scott Simptonfelder with 3 touchdown passes, 2 of those to Robert Gordon. And Jim, Mouse Davis obviously happy that Robert Gordon is healthy again.
Very happy that Robert Gordon is healthy. He's a go-to guy when they needed to get into the end zone. Robert Gordon found a way to get open. But I think the other key, Mark, was at the beginning of the game, Detroit gives the ball over after their first possession to Grand Rapids. They get a first down inside the 10. They hold them to a field goal. And then right before the half, they're on the 1-yard line knocking on the door. They have 2 great stops inside the final 18 seconds to keep this a 21-17 Detroit lead.
Well, you know, the Fury comes in here with the number 3 defense in the Arena Football League. So, and they've showed it tonight. And I think you pointed out that Arcal Trulak has made his presence known big time.
Alcar Trulak right now might be in contention for the Iron Man of the game because he's played very well defensively. Certainly he's been the best player out there, and offensively he's done a nice job also.
Well, the big play, as Jim Brandstatter alluded to, was the goal line stand, the very last play of the second quarter, preserving what is a 21-17 halftime lead here in Grand Rapids. The Detroit Fury and the Grand Rapids Rampage. Welcome back to Grand Rapids. It's been raining off and on all day long, but pretty sunny inside as far as the Detroit Fury are concerned. Trying to get their first road victory of the year, Jim. They're halfway there.
Yeah, they are, breaking that 3-game losing streak. They fell behind 3-0 on a Brian Goins field goal, but they came right back. Watch Gordon here. Gets open. Great pass from Simptonfelder. Gives Detroit the 7-3 lead. But back comes Grand Rapids. Terrell Shaw on the other end of this. A 10-7 Grand Rapids lead. Watch this catch by Gordon. Off his shoulder, one-handed, pulls it in, gives Detroit the lead back, 14-10. But then Chris Ryan goes in on the ground, and it's a lead for Grand Rapids, but right before the half, Chuck Levy gets one from Scott Simptonfelder, and that's what puts it the 21-17 lead for Detroit. When we come back, we'll have more from halftime in the second half of action, coming up from Van Andel Arena in Grand Rapids with the Fury on top of Grand Rapids.
If you want to talk tough, come on. I mean really tough. I mean Detroit tough. Then you're talking the new Ford F-150 from your Metro Detroit Ford dealer. It's the official truck of the Detroit Fury Arena football team.
Current lessees can lease a tough F-150 Super Cab for $392 a month with only $817 due at signing. With a V8, auto, air, CD player, and more.
Heck, that's why I use mine every day in practice. Right, boys?
Darrell Waltrip was driven to achieve greatness.
I wanted to be the champion. I wanted to be the star.
But Darrell's legend cast a shadow over brother Michael.
Why can't this Waltrip be as good as that Waltrip?
And led to an act of betrayal.
He was living with the Petties. That's like living with the McCoys.
That would change the Waltrips forever. Beyond the Glory, the Waltrips, tomorrow at 8 on Fox Sports Net.
Hey, in a hurry? Get 'em and go. Yes, from scrumptious burgers and chicken sandwiches to delectable chili cheese dogs. Get 'em and go has what you need, and they've got it fast. So whether you're in the mood for a juicy charbroiled olive burger or some awesome chili cheese fries, drive through Get 'em and go. Buy a combo and get a really cool free Coke Collector's Cup. Get 'em and go, a meal in a minute with good food in it. In the Caledonia Village Center, adjacent to D&W.
Sportsnet. Sunday Night Fights on Fox Sports Net. Pound for pound, the best fighters in the world go toe-to-toe. Witness boxing fury from a ringside seat. Sunday Night Fights on Fox Sports Net.
No matter whether you're a professional athlete or a casual weekend warrior, injuries happen. And when they do, St. John Macomb Hospital in Warren has the resources to help you get back in action. Our physician specialists are dedicated to the treatment and rehabilitation of orthopedic and sports injuries for people on the field or on the job. Our physicians and rehabilitation staff work to restore strength and level of function and quickly get you back to work or play. Go where the Detroit Fury go to get back in action. Call St. John Macomb Hospital Rehabilitation.
This is Kingston County, Maine. There are 4 surfers here. Bug, Simon, Mooney, and me. The waves are kind of small, and we only have 1 surfboard. Most of the time, I'll just ride a few waves and come back in. You know, sometimes talking about surfing with your friends is better than surfing without them.
Life tastes good, Coca-Cola.
A lot of tire stores give you a good price, but it's their suck-you-in-the-door price, not their out-the-door price. See, once you're in the door, they pump up the price with extras like valve stems, mounting, balancing, and tire disposal. By the time you're out the door, you're out of dough.
Other stores charge up to $20 per tire for extras. At Bell Tire, get the guaranteed lowest out-the-door price you came in for. The extras are always free.
If they pump up the price, get out the door and get the lowest prices in town.
Bell Tire.
We always beat all deals or it's free.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We have a beautiful day in store. Mrs. Johnson is having to go a long way for the paper. She's got it and the field is open. But wait, something doesn't seem right. She should be back to the front door by now. She's holding her back and she can't seem to stand up. You don't have to be an athlete to get injured or get treated. Michigan Sport and Spine Center emphasizes prevention, education, and rehabilitation so you can get back in whatever your game is and back to living. Michigan Sport and Spine Center, official and exclusive team doctors for the Detroit Fury.
This is only the 3rd time that Grand Rapids has trailed at halftime. Detroit on top 21-17. Let's send it down to Matt Derry. Matt.
All right, here with head coach Mike Trigg of Grand Rapids and Coach Verstoff. What adjustments are you going to make down 4th half?
Really struggled the last couple of weeks of being able to cover people in the middle with our secondary, and we probably can't play as aggressive as we would like to. Guys keep getting behind us, and we're giving up some pretty easy touchdowns, mimicking what we did with Tampa Bay, so we have to make that switch. Probably play a little bit more zone and make Simpson Helter dump it off to his secondary receivers.
All right, Coach, good luck.
Thank you.
Hey, Coach Mike Trigg of Grand Rapids. Guys?
Okay, Matt, thank you. Let's take a look, Jim, the statistics. One thing that sticks out as far as an area that Mouse Davis talked about, those penalties, 8 for 47 yards.
8 for 47 yards. You know, in a regular game, that'd be almost 100 yards. It's almost the same size as the field. Field and arena football is 55 yards. You can't give away that many yards and expect to be successful on a consistent basis. Big thing here is opening up the second half coverage unit.
Kind of a knuckleball kick off the low part and hard to handle. Odom's bottled up and battles out to the 3. That was a terrific kick by Kent Baker.
It's exactly what Mouse Davis has wanted from his kickers. You bang that thing off the frame or the low part where you create a problem for the return man that has to really concentrate on catching it with his back to the field. You can give your coverage team more time to get down and make a play.
Congratulated by his teammates as he heads off behind the boards. So the Rampage backed up to their 2-yard line. As we said, it's only the 3rd time they've trailed at halftime all year long. They trailed last week against Tampa Bay and fell in that game. Dolzell struggled at times, fires out left side and completes it. About the 8-yard line. Now they're saying incomplete. Timo Odoms, the intended receiver.
Well, Mark, you caught it early in the first half where you said that everything that Dolzell has thrown tonight has been low. That one skipped in there, and he's just not, it doesn't look like he's right on top of his game at this point.
Oh, he dropped it.
He dropped it.
Yeah, that was
still, it was low and away.
Yep.
But, you know,
through his hands.
Odom should have had that one for a 5-yard gain.
Dolezal 11 of 20 on the night for 98 yards. And the one touchdown, that going to Shaw. Back to throw, pumps once, now comes back over the middle, and Baker has it. And all the way up and into Detroit territory before he is wrangled down by Rio Wells at the 24-yard line.
The key to this play is it's to the one receiver's side, and Baker is running a square-in route. And it's one of those situations where this guy's got to get in front of the route. He does not, and when the square-in happens, it's Rio Wells trailing Michael Baker. You've got to get over ahead of that so that you've got to look at the quarterback and the receiver and make a move on the ball when it's delivered.
Baker had 3 touchdown catches in the season opener, and against Carolina caught 9 for 109 and a touchdown. A flag down, the pass going incomplete. Shaw and Baker, the intended receivers, at least they were out there. Baker underneath, but let's see what this flag is all about.
Holding against Grand Rapids, probably on Arkel Trulock, the defensive end for the Fury, who has just been having a wonderful night.
Here's the call.
Offense number 93, holding. 10-yard penalty.
Ethan Banning, the guilty party, played on an Arena Bowl championship team with Albany back in '99, but what Trulock,
there it is.
Right. Yep.
It's against Trulock. See how he gets inside? And again, the only way that Banning can block him is to get the right arm out, wrap it around his waist. You've got to move your feet. When your defender is quicker, you've got to get your body in front of him. You can't block him with your arms.
First and long, a 21-17 Detroit lead. Dolezal hit as he throws, but it is caught inside the 20-yard line. And Dolezal paid for it. Trulock got him again.
And that was just a bull rush. He took Ethan Banning, and he just planted him in Trulock's, or in Dolezal's lap.
Arkel says, I can't do any more.
No. I mean, that was a bull rush where he just physically dominated Banning and backed him right into the quarterback, right up here. Watch it. He backs him right into Dolezal, knocks him down, but give Dolezal credit. He knew the pressure was coming, hung in there, and got the ball out to an open receiver.
It'd be awfully tough to beat him out of the Ironman Award.
Sure would.
Second down on the long completion to the Detroit 19-yard line. The Fury leading 21-17. Pump fake, Dolezal flips it over the top of the intended receiver out there, Banning.
That's the old intended screen to your tight end. Yep. Dolezal, though, got too much pressure up from the defensive line and could not get the ball to Banning, who was open.
And we heard what Mike Trigg said about the passing game defensively, and offensively they've been pretty doggone good, but they're struggling tonight. They're seeing, I think, maybe the best defense they've seen all year long. Third down play coming up, 3rd and about 5. Baker, the motion man, and the flip through his hands, a little too much on that one, and it is 4th down coming up.
There's a play where Banning, or excuse me, Dolezal threw that ball off his back foot. He expected Baker to make a move to the middle, but watch the quarterback. Here's Baker up here. Watch the quarterback. See how he throws off the front foot? That ball was not, you know, it could have been a first down easily, but the quarterback, Dolezal, didn't plan on the back foot. Threw it off the front foot as he's backing up, and it was not an accurate throw.
They're going forward on 4th down. 4th and about 5. Here in the 3rd quarter with 10:45 to go. Dolezal with time, and a Shaw for the touchdown. Time the factor. He had too much of it. Shaw lost his helmet as the Detroit defender went up over the boards.
That was Kevin Scott.
And Scotty has he gotten up yet? Just now, yep.
There he's up.
Too much time for Dolezal, and he made the Fury pay the price.
Now 4th down, and it's a big, big play, and your defense has got to come up. And that time, Dolezal had all kinds of time, and look at how Kevin Scott got turned around. Bottom of your screen, he just was completely turned around, and that's all she wrote. You turn a defensive back around like that, there's no chance.
So Dolezal has his 2nd touchdown pass of the evening, and it puts the Rampage back out on top. The extra point by Goins. And so Grand Rapids up by a field goal here in the third, 24-21. Shaw with his second touchdown grab of the night. Coming up at the DTE Music Theater, there you see tomorrow at 7:30, John Michael Montgomery. Then the Little River Band. They were a good band, weren't they? Total 80s live show, 248-378-3770-100, palacenet.com. That's where to go to get your tickets.
Yeah, I bet you old Moss Davis could sing along with a few of those Little River Band tunes.
24-21 off the low part of the net. Gordon mishandles it, now picks it up. Can he get out? Barely. Again, when it comes off the low portion of that net, it is sometimes very tough to handle. That was a good kick by Brian Goins.
Part of the problem coming off the low section of that net is when you're a receiver back there, you've got to be careful, because if it comes down off the low section of the net and it bangs off the frame, that ball will bang all kinds of different places. So you really have to concentrate on where that ball is, and you're almost anticipating it tipping that frame and bouncing over your head. That time it didn't, and it got through Robert Gordon's hands. And the Fury starting inside their own 5.
He's got Simptonfelder. Good first half for Simptonfelder. 9 of 15, 138, and 3 touchdowns. Not a bad first half. Rolling to his left, and Boyd with the catch. What time by rolling out of the pocket, and Tommy Boyd was able to get open in front of Tristan Moss that time to make the grab, and a good catch.
Tell you the other thing is a little bit of a difference from what Mike Trigg told our Matt Derry at halftime. Said, I want to go to some north zone. Well, this time the man in motion, Chuck Levy, was banged at the line of scrimmage in man coverage. Now they zoned with their one-man back, and Tommy Boyd was able to get in front of it, but that was a man look at the line of scrimmage.
Tommy Boyd in that opening half had 2 catches. 3 touchdown grabs last week for him. Back to throw. Simptonfelder, look out, dodges. That's going to be a hold on Marvin Thomas. Pass caught by Gordon, and another flag. That might be a late hit.
Yeah, a late hit on Ryan.
Late hit on Ryan against Simptonfelder. That was really silly. I mean, that ball had been out for quite some time, and Chris Ryan nailed Simptonfelder.
Yep, it's going to be holding against Detroit for personal foul against Grand Rapids.
Ryan, the 300-pounder, the fullback.
Holding number 98, offense. Personal foul, roughing the passer. 36 defense. Penalties offset. First down.
So a break there for the Fury.
Marvin Thomas is working right here. And there again, inside, you see how he wraps the arm and he just tackles him. And that's not going to work, and you're going to get a holding play, and there's the late hit. That ball's out of there, and that's just silly. I mean, Ryan, you know, you just can't make that play.
Yeah, that's silly. Thomas was holding Avery that time, Chris Avery. So let's just do it again, okay? On the 15-yard line.
They got Butler matched up on Levy again.
Simptonfelder comes to Gordon, another flag. Did they get Thomas again? Or is it?
They may have.
Marvin's kind of looking around as if
he's blocking, working against Ethan Banning. Oh, they're calling it. Thomas is pointing. This is an illegal twist again. They're calling an illegal twist against Grand Rapids. Second time they've called this. And it's the referee behind the defense that watches that line play.
Illegal twist, number 91. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Take a look at the illegal twist. This man and this man are going to crisscross, and that is illegal in this style of defense. Oh, actually, it's the 2 outside guys. That's even worse. I thought usually they use it with the linebacker.
The result of the play.
Now, Jim, explain why in that has become a penalty or is a penalty in arena football.
The reason it is because you've only got 2 blockers there, and you want one-on-one blocking. And so it's the nose guard against the center and the defensive end against the offensive tackle. If you twist like that, you will rub the 2 offensive guys off against each other. In the big game, you've got help from a tight end or a fullback.
Right.
But in this game, you don't.
Big first down on the penalty. Simptonfelder hit as he throws. It's intercepted. Ryan, the big man, threw up with a tackle. Simptonfelder was nailed by Avery and threw the interception, his 13th of the year.
It comes around Marvin Thomas again. We've seen Marvin Thomas get tagged with the holding call. This time he lets the defender beat him outside with great speed. And Thomas can't get outside. He hits Felter in the back. That causes the ball to go up slowly. It's right here. And you see he gets hit. Actually, Thomas could have gotten tagged with another holding call because he didn't get outside, and that caused the interception.
6th interception this season for the Rampage, and as we said, the 13th off of Felter. That is the most in the AFL.
And that's been the bugaboo of the Fury all year.
Ball begins in Fury territory at the 24. Dolezal to throw, and this one is picked off.
Great play.
Antoine Worthman. Worthman picks it off at the 20-yard line, and just like that, that's his 2nd interception of the season.
Got a flag, and it's a late flag. This interception will stand, I think.
Perhaps. Let's see.
Well, that flag was thrown after the play was over.
However, the Rampage offense still out on the field, and Lincoln Coleman clapping his hands.
Following the interception, dead ball, personal foul, number 40, 10 yards, 1st and 10.
Well, the interception stands, so Worthman comes up with a pick.
Well, Benny Goods is the man who gets flagged, but Worthman does a great job. Watch him run underneath the route. Boom. He reads the route. It was one of those stop routes down the sideline looking for Brashears, and he was able to jump in front of the route and make the play.
That's only the 4th interception off Dolezal, and he's unhappy about it. He was picked by Toronto and threw 2 interceptions against Carolina in back-to-back games. His last 2 games coming in, he had 9 touchdowns and no interceptions, and of course a couple of touchdown passes tonight, so 11-0, and then he is picked off by Worthman, who's had a terrific year. He's come up with some big turnovers. So let's see if the Fury can take advantage. They trail 24-21 here in the 3rd. Felter throwing to the right sideline to Boyd. Brings into the yard marker. Let's see where they're going to mark forward progress. They're going to say short of the 1st down at the 19-yard line.
One thing the Fury has done to help themselves a little bit, they've got Benny Goods in there working in the offensive line and moved Marvin Thomas over to the other side. If they're going to use some quick pass rushers, they're going to have to use them to the outside against Benny Goods. Here's a nice outcut by Tommy Boyd, working in front of Polk. Nice job. You talked about earlier, squaring the route off. Nice job by Boyd.
Fullback in there for Felter is Vonsilles Allen. He gets a good block, and Boyd on the catch. I tell you what, Allen with a nice block inside. And look out now, Tommy Boyd mixing it up with JoJo Polk. And we got flags flying all over the place. Tommy Boyd has been a little testy all night long.
And you know what, Mark? We talked at the top of the show about rivalries and whether there is a rivalry. This is the kind of stuff that starts a rivalry.
JoJo Polk, whatever he did, Tommy Boyd took exception to it. And unfortunately, I think Detroit's going to get the end of the penalty on this one. And it's going to be tough to call offsetting unless the officials heard or saw something that we didn't.
No, you got 3 flags down there, and it was Polk doing as much problem as Boyd. So if you're going to have it offsetting, you know, this is the way to control a game. Is that you tell both of them, look, you're both going to get flagged here.
Our referee is Bill Lemonnier, or as they say in Paris, Lemonnier. Our umpire is Paul Furking. The head linesman Rusty Spindle, the line judge David Meslow, and the back judge Billy Beckett. For all those of you who keep track of those things.
If you do, you've got way too much time on your hands.
You need to get a life. 6:03 to go here in the 3rd.
Following the play, we have double fouls, personal fouls, unnecessary roughness. Number 8 on the offense. Number 23 on the defense. Number 23 continued after the action, and he's been ejected from the ball game.
Oh, my goodness. That's Tristan Moss, one of their starting corners.
That is,
wow.
That is a big one for them.
And Mike Trigg can't believe it. Said what?
He can't. Good job by Gonzalez Allen. We'll take a look at this play. But there's Tristan Moss heading out to the locker room as he has been banished from this one for continuing after the whistle.
You know what? I always find it interesting that the home fans cheer when their player gets tossed out of the game.
Here's the block by Allen. Watch this. Right up there with the fullback. That's key. Now, as the play continues, Tommy Boyd makes the catch. Now he's behind his man, Moss. Now, it's done. Okay, now there's Moss, number 23. He's the one that gets the problem. And he's the one that shoves Polk. Moss gets into it with Boyd and Polk.
Interesting decision there. Siptenfelder, and it is bobbled, but they say touchdown.
Chuck Winters.
Chuck Winters on the end of that one.
Isn't that his first of the year mark?
That is indeed his first touchdown catch as a Detroit Fury.
I saw Chuck prior to the game. He said, listen, if I get in, make sure you say good things about me. Well, Chuck, you just got a touchdown pass. We're going to say good things about you. Gives Detroit the lead back.
You bet. How big are those penalties?
And how big is the protection allowing Semptenfelder to get out, roll right, and buy some time to let Winters get open?
Baker now. And we got flag.
I think we got contact up front from Grand Rapids.
A busy night for that fella. 4:58 to go in the third quarter, and it has been
encroachment with contact defense. The penalties decline. The try is still at the 2.5.
Kent Baker, who was signed a couple of days ago. Brother Craig kicked at the University of Michigan. He faces Billy Stoyanovich. And he misses. It's off the net. Loose ball. It is bobbled. Uh-oh. JoJo Polk picks it up, but Kent Baker makes the saving tackle. Wow.
Wow is right. That could have gone the other way for a touchdown. That's why arena football, no lead is safe, and every play, anything can happen. Winters is lined up at the slot, but Semptenfelder able to buy time, rolls to his right, as Winters gets in front of JoJo Polk and able to get the touchdown. And Semptenfelder loves every minute of it as Detroit takes the 27-24 lead. The Fury take the lead on a touchdown pass from Semptenfelder to Winters. Here's Winters here in the slot. He comes down and runs a little post over here in front of Polk. But the big key is Semptenfelder. He scrambles out to the right, buys himself enough time, avoids the pressure, and that gives him all the time in the world to find Winters. And he just waits. When Winters clears, there's the ball, there's the touchdown. Nice job, guys. Good job downstairs in the truck.
Chuck Winters, very first touchdown reception this year for Semptenfelder. He has really turned it around now in the last couple of games. And there's a wobbly kick bouncing up at the 4-yard line. And diving ahead is Lucas Yarnell, the up back, a big 315-pounder, up to the 19-yard line. Well, I don't know if that was on purpose or he mishit it. But
I don't think so.
I think he mishit it there.
Yeah, Kent just mishit that one. And you know, Moss Davis is going to meet him as he comes through the door over there and say, Kent, we got you to hit it to the net.
Fury fans, Trillium Mint has produced a limited edition 2001 Detroit Fury commemorative flip coin, only available on palacenet.com, the official website of the Fury. Log on now to purchase your limited edition collectible. Yeah, Mouse doesn't want to have a fourth kicker. Boy, it's been a struggle there, but you know, when you're an expansion team, your roster changes a great deal as the season goes on. He wanted to kind of stop the turnover and get a roster settled, and still each week he's had to make a move or two. And, so we mentioned Semptenfelder. We're in a 2-game stretch against New Jersey and Tampa Bay where he had 2 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. He had nothing against Tampa Bay. But in his last 2 games against Indiana and now this game tonight, he has 9 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. 4 TDs tonight, as you see. 2 of them to Gordon, 1 to Levy, and the first to Winters. So Golzell takes over after throwing only his 4th interception of the year. Back to throw it in on a slant. That's been his favorite play tonight. Into territory, into Fury territory goes Rodney Blackshear, carrying a few tacklers.
And Sally's Allen actually pulled that ball free, but after the whistle was headed the other direction.
Forward progress just shy of the Detroit 22-yard line. We have 4:16 to go in the third quarter in a back-and-forth game. This week on Beyond the Glory, meet the Waltrip brothers, Daryl and Michael, who at one point in their careers were fierce rivals both on and off the NASCAR circuit. The Waltrips Beyond the Glory tomorrow night at 8 on Fox Sports Net. Follow that NASCAR stuff?
Too busy following football.
Pump fake, look out from behind, and Marvin Thomas on top of Dolezal, hauls him down back at the Rampage 22-yard line. Good coverage downfield. We do have a yellow flag, however.
It's tough following NASCAR when you're busy. You're looking at arena football all the time, Mark.
A whole lot of left throw.
It's going to be holding defense.
My goodness.
Good job up front by Benny Goods. He was getting pressure up the middle and forced Dolezal to bail out of the pocket.
Number 3, 10 yards previous spot.
Boy,
Automatic
that's
first
two
down.
big penalties tonight on Kevin Scott.
And that was way downfield. But the pressure comes right up the middle. And then Marvin Thomas comes all the way around here to make the play. But it all goes for naught because you've got a holding in the secondary. Thomas stays with it real good, though. You like that from a defensive end.
So big break for the Rampage. First down at the Detroit 13-yard line. Shaw the motion. And a little tumble for Mr. Dolezal.
You've got the old non-rhythmic cadence count, and they got the defense, Benny Goods, to jump.
Encroachment defense for contact. Number 40, 5 yards. Still first down.
Rich Stugler is over there on the defense, and he is complaining loudly to the referee that Dolezal, makes the old head bob move and forces the defense. But that's just one of those situations where your defense has got to be disciplined, Mark. You watch the ball, you don't listen to the quarterback.
Well, the quarterback is really hurting the Fury tonight. They had 8 in the opening half. Back to throw, Dolezal, left corner. Can Shaw bring it in? No. Good effort, though. He tried to one-hand it into his body against that boards and couldn't quite do it. They're definitely picking on Kevin Scott tonight.
Well, Antoine Worthman is not in the game. Hurt on that kickoff, and he came out of there. But you see in motion is Shaw, and he runs the out cut, and Scott was beaten by a step or two, and Dolezal knows that he should have had that ball in there. That should have been 6.
We mentioned that Dolezal without 3 of his top receivers, and Ricky Ross, Willis Marshall, and Deion Mitchell, but Shaw has played well. There's Baker. Dolezal, touchdown over the top to Demo Odoms.
This is what you'd call a throwback or counter pass. Odoms goes in motion from right to left, but then he breaks all the way across the field to the right corner of the end zone. Odoms comes over here. That's where the ball's going to be thrown. And he started in motion to the left. And there's Kevin Scott again, late getting to the ball. It's been a tough night for Kevin.
So Dolezal with his 3rd touchdown pass of the night as Kevin Scott must be talking to himself. And the Rampage have regained the lead. This is their kind of football game. They love these close back and forth battles. High snap. But again, no pressure on the kicker, and Goins with the extra point. So the Rampage now with the 4-point margin, 31-27, thanks to that missed extra point by the Fury.
Another thing about Kevin Scott is you take a look at that replay. He's way too deep in the end zone to make any kind of a play at the goal line. He backs 5 yards into the end zone. You got to get tighter on that guy, particularly when you're down near the end zone, because once he's past the goal line, it doesn't make any difference. You got to get tighter with him on the goal line. See Kevin way back behind him? 5 yards deep in the end zone is going to do you no good with the man in front of you.
Well, a 9-yard touchdown, and just like that, Grand Rapids back out on top, 31-27. They are trying to get to 6-1 on the year. And the Grand Rapids, their best record in 3 previous seasons at the midpoint was 5-2 back in '99. So either way, they're going to either equal it or better it tonight.
Now it's a seesaw battle in time for Detroit to bring up the saw.
Well, we'll see.
Shondell Tucker, D3C for Detroit.
Here's the kick by Goins. And this one high off to Tucker, and he runs to the 15, dodging. Oh, he almost broke it, but is hauled down at the 20-yard line. Shondell Tucker, the rookie out of Hawaii, played for June Jones. Well, the Rainbows over there.
We saw Tucker against Tampa put on a great return where
he did.
He got no help in the blocking department, was able to shake and bake his way out to about midfield.
Shondell, little guy, 5'9", 170.
The key here is that Tucker gets it off the net and about the 5-yard line, breaks through right now. Here's the move right there, boom. Getting outside again, the coverage, he gets it out to the 20-yard line. Good job, gives the Fury nice field position to work with.
Yep, if Miles Garner could have gotten the block on his man, who knows? It's a first down from the 21. Simpton-Felder out of the pocket, stumbles, falls, and he'll lose yardage back around the 13 or 14. So a loss of about 7 yards.
Got just, you know, he tried to roll to the right, but basically just gets tripped up by his own feet, footwork-wise, you know?
Yep.
Nobody touched him. Just got to have better footwork than that. On your roll, get outside, plant the back foot, square your shoulders, and get the ball down to your intended receiver.
Simpton-Felder came in, number 9 in the AFL in yards passing. Short drop, there's the slant. Boyd, in and out move, gets free to the 10 and down to the 7-yard line. Great move by Tommy Boyd on the pass over the middle, and the Fury back in business.
The key again for Detroit is that Simpton-Felder goes to the right man. The beauty of the play is out here is where Boyd comes, running the slant cut. And that's wide open. When Simpton-Felder reads it right away, and he sees underneath there's no coverage, ball goes out, Boyd makes the catch and nearly scores and makes the big play.
That is the final play of the third quarter. We got a dandy, don't go away, whatever you do, in Grand Rapids at Van Andel Arena. 31-27 Grand Rapids, but look out, the Fury on the move.
Detroit Fury football is brought to you by St. John Macomb Hospital in Warren, official hospital of the Detroit Fury. By Bell Tire, nobody comes close, nobody's closer. By MRCC, Union Carpenters and Millwrights, the best training, the best pay, the best future. 1-888-HAMMER-9. And by the Training Room, the official athletic training and rehabilitation provider for the Detroit Fury.
Champion Jim Brandstatter, and down to the field, Matt Derry.
Mark and Jim, this is easily the most physical game the Fury has played this season. Tristan Moss ejected for Grand Rapids, the DB, but the reason he got ejected, not because he bumped any of the Fury players, he bumped the head linesman, Rusty Spindell, and wasn't having anything of it, threw the flag. I mean, it's getting so physical down here, Jim. Are you going to back me up, Randy? We going on the field or what?
Anytime, baby. Anytime, I'm behind you.
Well, we start the fourth as the Fury try to regain the lead. Levy in motion, Marvin Thomas. And oh man, he's had a rough night tonight in the penalty department.
False start there.
We'll pick up another one.
You know, the one
bit on Corey Mayfield, the right end that time.
The one key point Matt Derry made was Tristan Moss is out of there ejected.
Prior to snap, 98 offense, false start, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Moss is ejected. He's a defensive specialist. He's a back, defensive back, better coverage guy. And right now, the Fury have got to think about working on different people who are in that secondary, because Moss is probably one of their better cover guys. And they're working now with Blackshear and Shaw. And Gordon's on Shaw.
First down play, Simpton-Felder, wide open, Levy, touchdown, Fury. Levy's second of the night.
The key there is it's J.J. Polk, and Levy's the motion man. And J.J. Polk tries to jam him at the line of scrimmage. He whiffs in a man-to-man coverage when that man is in motion, and you whiff, That guy is into your secondary all by his lonesome, and all Semptenfelder has to do is lob that baby up there.
Levy's second touchdown catch of the night, 7th of the year. And Scott Semptenfelder having a big night. Semptenfelder with 5 touchdown passes. And that is the 3rd time he's had 5. Extra point, no good off the net. My goodness, not a way to keep a job. Jim Baker missing again. That's consecutive extra points.
Well, here's the key now. And when Levy gets to the line of scrimmage, why don't we pause this if we can? Right there. This guy is going to try to jam him, stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Now, as we roll, watch him whiff and watch Levy make him miss. Boom. He misses. Levy's all alone. Touchdown.
And the touchdown gives the Fury back the lead, but the extra point makes it only a 2-point margin. Let's take a look at scores from around the league, brought to you by Falcon Network Services. How about Orlando? 70-22 over Toronto.
70 spot.
Wow. 34-14. Chicago leading Houston in the 3rd. And second quarter score, Oklahoma top of Milwaukee, 21-14. Also got a score. The Detroit Shock. I understand the Shock fell short. The Houston Comets came up with a win. The, what are they, 4-time defending champions, 74-73. Scores from around the league brought to you by Falcon Network Services, people, technology, and business. Greg Williams in his debut as the Shock coach. Kickoff by Baker, and this one is off. That's beautiful. Bobbled and a flag down at the 5-yard line. A second flag came out. Well, that was a terrific kick there.
Now that's exactly what Mouse Davis wants, is that ball caroming off the frame.
Kick catch interference, number 23. 5-yard penalty. 5 yards to the 10-yard line, first down.
And Worthman gets yet another penalty. Mouse Davis shaking his head because they have mounted up the penalties tonight.
Sure have.
Well into double figures in that department.
Well,
that was a great kick.
That was a great kick, but see, you've got as a return, man, you can't be within the 5-yard line when that ball is actually caught as a cover man on the kick.
So really there was not much he could do about that one. That just kind of deflected out on him. Well, the Rampage trailing by just 2 have the football. Back at the 10, Dolezal looking around, comes back long and completes it. Kevin Scott again getting picked on. Blackshear, the receiver, down at the Fury 21-yard line, and it has been a nightmare night for Kevin Scott.
Kevin has had his problems, and this time again given too much cushion to Blackshear, who is down the sideline, and Kevin's given him maybe, what, 6-5 yards cushion before he's up into his face. Here's Blackshear. Now here's Scott coming over late after the catch is made. Makes a sure tackle, but you got to have a little tighter coverage on that.
Well, here come the Rampage. Right back at him. You got a Rampage and a Fury. That makes some serious action.
Scott now working against big Michael Baker.
The toss goes right to Ryan. Ryan's express takes him down inside to about the 12-yard line. Looks like it's just shy of the first down.
This is a good running play, and it's well blocked. As a defender, you have got to, as a defensive end, get upfield, but the receivers do a great job of taking the fullback. Watch this right here. There's the block. That's Baker getting a piece of Chilcote and turning the corner for his big fullback Ryan.
Well, they got 2 good fullbacks who can run that football, Coleman and Ryan. Second down short. Dolezal flips the ball out for the first down. Inside of about the 8-yard line, and a late flag, Michael Baker, and they're gonna hit Scotty, I think.
No, it's gonna be Trulock.
Is it Trulock? They were both in the area. They may get our Cal for kind of roughing it up a little bit. Face mask is the call.
Boy,
oh,
this is unbelievable, the amount of penalties that the Fury have gotten, and it's just.
Incidental face mask, number 3. Half the distance to the goal. Second down.
Giving it to Kevin Scott. And Scott here comes up again. That's Baker. He's the big 220-pounder.
So that moves it down to the Fury 4.
That's not a face mask call. His hand never closed around the face mask. 15 for 92 yards.
Penalty results in a first down.
15 to only 3 penalties against Grand Rapids, albeit a couple of those were critical. But 15, man. Well, first and goal at the 4-yard line. Bolzell pump fake, comes back over, wide open man, and caught for the touchdown. Calling that one in, Gary Isa.
Well, they threw a similar pass at the other end, and it's a little throwback where if they throw, all the action goes to the right, and Dolzell waits for one man to break it back to the left. And he's wide open. First time through, I think it was Shaw. Second time around, it's Isa. The man in motion, watch him. He just sneaks around to the right. Now Kevin Scott was on him again, and Kevin Scott just let him run all the way back around to the left side, wide open.
Isa, only 5'8", has his second touchdown catch of the year. Had one last week against the Storm. Now the extra point. And Goins, a good kicker, bangs it through. So it is back and forth here in Grand Rapids, and now the Rampage on top by 5, 38-33 with 11-12 to go. Scott Simptonfelder with 5 touchdown passes tonight, needs 2 more to reach 100 in his career, and he'd like to get him here tonight. Let's take a look at the Central Division standings. The Rampage leading the way. Indiana that beat the Fury last week 38-35 at 5-2. Then come the Rush and then the Fury. And it's been a hard luck season for Milwaukee. Those are your standings. Milwaukee coming up next for the Fury at the Palace. Simptonfelder throwing down and bobbled and dropped. Oh, Mr. Grovestein, you got to catch those. Holy mackerel.
That's a touchdown, and Grovestein had his man Isa beaten. And when you're a coach and you're looking on the sideline, because both guys have to play both ways, you look at personnel in the game. He got Grovestein hooked up against Isa, who for the most part is pretty much an offensive guy. Isa gets beaten, just can't hold on to the ball.
Grovestein was a quarterback and converted to a receiver. He's 6'1", 220 out of Wisconsin, Whitewater. 2nd and 10 at the Fury 5. Gordon in motion, flag comes down. Ball deflected and almost caught by Grovestein. But we have
I think we're going to have another illegal defense against.
Boy, we've had a whole lot of laundry tonight.
Yeah, against Grand Rapids. This is going to be one of those twist games again.
What is that, 3 or 4 times tonight?
3 times tonight. And a 4th time they didn't call.
Mike Trigg, the head coach, saying, oh, it's almost like the NBA's illegal defense, you know. They're
Shady,
mystery.
number 78, nose guard, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
What was that call? Well, Woods is the man who is flagged, and he's right in here. We'll take a look after they snap. I don't have any idea what that is. I mean, what did he say it was? Somebody help.
He said it was a penalty.
Yeah.
Pressure on Simptonfelder, rolls, throws. Grovestein catches this one. And a flag comes out, breaks the tackle, down to the 20. He's going to score. Will it hold up? Grovestein for the touchdown, but will it hold up? Now we got 2 more flags. Holy mackerel.
I think we've got holding in the secondary against Grand Rapids. Now the other question, there's a flag at the 20 and 2 more at the 12.
What a job by Grovestein.
Oh, what a job after the catch.
You bet.
And what a job by Simptonfelder, buying time and throwing that ball out to Grovestein to allow him the opportunity to make a play with it.
Now Chuck Levy is reacting as if this one's not going to count.
No, he's not happy.
There may have been a hold on the run. Yep.
Holding.
Illegal use of the hands. So it's all coming back. Oh, man. Boy, Mouse has given it to the official, the head linesman.
Holding, number 3 on the defense. Illegal block in the back, number 40 on the offense. Penalties will offset. Repeat, second down.
Very good.
Illegal block on the back. That's on the play. So he really didn't need to do that, and it would have gone in. Good play by Semptimphelter to buy time. Now Grosstein does a nice job. He gets out behind. Gordon gets a good block. Great block underneath, and we can't see Benny Goods in the block in the back. But a good job by Semptimphelter to avoid the pressure. Good presence to get the ball out to Grosstein. That almost could have been a roughness call against Grand Rapids when Grosstein threw the ball and got thrown to the ground himself, or rather Semptimphelter.
Now shaking his head.
That's a huge play in this game, and that's the lead taken away by penalty.
Grand Rapids maintains the 5-point margin. Second down. Semptimphelter buying time, looking around, now throws. Grosstein comes back to meet it at the 11. And finally whistled down. But I'll tell you what, after the catch, he really battles that.
Yes, he does.
Up to the 11-yard line is all he was able to make. Third down coming up.
He is something after the catch. I mean, he just does not go down easily. You know, the other thing you saw is Chilcote back in there. He is claiming again that they're running twist games up front. But Semptimphelter keeps looking downfield, finally finds Grosstein. And look at that. Well after the catch, he's brought down. That's, I think, what Chilcote was complaining about. Why wasn't there an unnecessary roughness call on Semptimphelter?
This big third down play here, third and about 4. Semptimphelter with time, and Gordon couldn't hang on. It is incomplete.
Levy and Gordon were in the same area.
8:15 to go. Semptimphelter talking it over with Mouse.
Normally, those two guys should be not too close together. But Mouse is going to roll the dice here. He may go for it on 4th down.
Sure looks like it.
Take a look at both Gordon and Levy. Levy breaks outside, and that ball could have been intended for both of them.
You know what?
That's a mix-up in the pass.
Yeah. Gordon's looking at Levy. He got screened. That's what happened.
Yeah. Levy should have broken inside, maybe.
Well, here's perhaps the biggest play of the game here. Semptimphelter rolling left, throwing and completing a big first down to Levy up the left sideline. They're going to mark him down, hit the board off the contact at about the 18-yard line as he was run into by Charles Butler Jr.
Rolling the dice and gets execution from Semptimphelter and Levy. This is a rollout to the left, and Levy's got to turn his arms, or rather Semptimphelter turn his shoulders and get the ball out to Levy running away from him. Tough throw, tough catch, and the Fury come up with the play.
They could pop Levy put on Butler that time too. So big first down, new set of downs with 7 minutes left. Semptimphelter going long, Gordon out there, and hey, wow, how about a hold there?
Oh, looked like Polk got a right hand on the shoulder of Gordon and pulled him down, and yet the referees kept the flag in their back pocket.
Polk, very physical player, and that second down.
Check a look at the right hand. You know, that's,
I don't know.
That's tight.
Yeah, that's
the matchup right now. If they're looking for it, Isa is in the ball game. He's in at that Joe linebacker position. Now he's not going to get too much in any pass coverage, but Butler is working over there on Levy. If I had my druthers, I'd wonder if they'll go Butler against Levy.
Yeah, Isa's only 5'8". Semptimphelter on second down throwing, and misconnected with Levy. Levy stopped around the 14, and the ball sailed behind him.
They had the matchup they wanted. Butler's just 5'9", and Levy's a 6-footer, and a much better receiver. And he had him isolated on Butler, but Semptimphelter couldn't get him the ball.
Well,
he was open.
Third down and 10 from the Fury 19-yard line. 5:40 and ticking. 38-33. Grand Rapids leading.
Chuck Winters coming in the ball game now for Chuck Levy.
Winters with his very first AFL touchdown on it tonight in the third quarter. The Grand Rapids faithful making their noise, and now Semptimphelter jumps up quickly and calls a timeout as yelling at Ty Grosstein. So we will take a timeout. Simptonfelder not real happy with his teammates that time, forcing him to call a timeout with 5:22 left. Back in Grand Rapids, our reception of the game brought to you by the Michigan Regional Council of Carpenters and Millwrights. And our reception of the game, well, this was a terrific one. Robert Gordon back in the first. Just kept concentration on that football and hauled it in for the touchdown that gave the Fury a 7-3 lead. Reception of the game brought to you by the Michigan Regional Council of Carpenters and Millwrights. Big third down play coming up after the timeout call. Simptonfelder with a lot of time, open man Winters, and he grabs it against the boards on the far side, and we got a late flag that came out.
This is going to be against the bench of Grand Rapids.
18-yard line, Grand Rapids penalty.
Sideline warning, Grand Rapids. First warning.
One of the coaches on the sideline for Grand Rapids got right in the referee's face while the play was underway, and that gets the sideline warning. But Chuck Winters comes in for a snap for Chuck Levy, runs that crossing route and turns over the middle, gets away from J.J. Polk, and Simptonfelder puts it right there, and Winters holds on.
Like it was Marshall Foreman, the defensive coordinator, may have been the guilty party that time, but big first down for the Fury. Trailing 38-33 here in Grand Rapids. Simptonfelder with 5 touchdown passes, going for 6. Chuck Winters on the end of that one as he takes it down to the 3-yard line where it'll be first and goal for Detroit.
Well, it's the same route. They're working Polk on the motion man, and it's Winters, who really doesn't have as good a receiving skills as Levy, but Levy may be a little bit gassed, so they're going with the fresher legs and Chuck Winters.
Yeah, in fact, Mouse Davis talked about that. We were talking with him. He said, you know, I've got to get into a rhythm of knowing when to rest players. So it's first and goal, 3 yards away from regaining the lead. Chilcote, the fullback. Simptonfelder throws back across for the touchdown to Chuck Winters.
Boy, Winters
second of the night.
Been this whole drive. But they have done such a good job, and they isolate Winters on Butler, who is the 5'9" guy in their secondary, who has been susceptible because of the injuries that they've had to their wide receiver defensive back. They're trying to isolate somebody on Butler, and Winters, who is not considered a great receiver, so they put Butler on him, and he has just eaten the Rampage alive on this drive.
And they are going for 2. The kicking game has continued to be suspect. Consecutive extra point misses. Simptonfelder flags all over the place. Gordon with a catch in the back of the end zone, but what's the laundry? See what we got here.
Well, they let the play continue, so if it's an encroachment, it's on the defense.
Offsides, 38 defense.
So 2 points, that makes up for the 2 miss, or one of the misses anyway. So the 2-pointer, and that gets it to a 3-point margin, which could be very important with 3:18 left. Well, this one's going right down to the wire, Mr. B.
Oh, it sure is. Take a look at the 2-point conversion. See Levy? Gordon makes a great move against Polk, and Simptonfelder does a great job of getting this ball up in the air over the top of the linebacker. You got to put air underneath that because you got to let Gordon go up and get it. The touchdown is Winters just going back, and again, great throw by Simptonfelder to get it over top of the Jill linebacker, who actually, I think maybe got a piece of it, tipped it a little bit, but still just enough to get it over the top, and Winters at the back of the end zone makes the reception and gives the Fury the lead back.
41-38 here in Grand Rapids. It's been a dandy, and Kit Baker will kick it off. Isa and Odoms are the deep men now for Grand Rapids.
You know, I think when they designed arena football, this is the kind of game they had in mind, where it goes back and forth. You've got, wonderful offensive plays, but, decent defensive plays, too. We saw 2 turnovers back-to-back on 2 separate downs where Grand Rapids got it back, and then, boom, all of a sudden, Detroit comes back with an interception from Wortham.
And it sets up, Jim, I think, 4th down plays where Consider that drive, that key fourth down conversion that the Fury had.
Equipment timeout.
We got a little tape job going over in front of the Fury bench. So it is 41-38, but
and I tell
Miles
you,
Davis has got to be happy with his offense tonight. They performed well. You know, granted the penalties have hurt him, but the offense has moved the football.
But if you look at a key substitution, you talk about matchups, a key substitution, that one play where they bring in Winters for Levy, and Levy had done pretty well. Then all of a sudden, they have a penalty, and the next 4 plays go to Winters, and one of them's a touchdown.
Yeah, good point. There's a high, oh my, another chip shot. This one's going into the stands.
This was the worst nightmare.
Out of bounds, placed at the 20-yard line, first down.
The youngster coming unglued.
Yeah. I mean, Kent Baker in the first early going of this game looked real solid. And, boy, the troubles that
kicking game
the
is
Fury has had with kickers is just, you can't hardly believe it.
0 for 8 among the previous kickers in attempting field goals, and the kickoffs have been a big problem, and they continue to be.
He's had one real good one that came off the frame of the net, but other than that, he's had one that was a ground ball and the other ones didn't make it.
Well, 3:01 to go, and great field position at the Rampage 20. Odom's in motion. Dolezal fires to Shaw at the 25.
Now Levy's back in the ballgame. So you take out what you figure was an offensive threat when you got the ball and bring in Chuck Winters, and now on defense you go with Levy instead of Winters, who's considered a better defender. Interesting choice of substitutions here in the final minutes of this thriller in Grand Rapids.
Dolezal, the quarterback. There's Chuck Levy, who has hauled in a couple of touchdowns tonight. Second down at about 5. Dolezal slant. Isa dropped it. Took his eyes off of it because Kevin Scott was right there to belt it.
Well,
that brings up third down.
They're playing some combo coverage there with Scott underneath, and then Shaw, who's caught some touchdown passes tonight, runs right by. There's Isa looking at, but again,
right between the eyes.
Yeah, he sees Shaw, and that got his concentration broken. So Dolezal almost buried that in his face mask.
Good thing he had a bar on that face mask. Big third down and 5 with 1:37 and ticking. Dolezal with time finds his man, and that's a first down at the 19-yard line going to Demo Odom. So 3-point Detroit lead, and the clock ticking, 1:23. That was a big conversion there. And in arena football, it's, as Yogi would say, it is never over till it's over.
Oh, anything can happen in this game. With 1:09 to go, they may get one more snap off before we get the 1-minute warning. Actually, they're going to let it run down to the 1-minute warning.
And we will get it right now. 1 minute to go in Grand Rapids. The Detroit Fury trying to hang on.
1 minute timing in effect for the remainder of the half.
Dolezal looking to regain the lead for his 5-1 Grand Rapids Rampage team. It's 41-38 Detroit with 1 minute to go in the game. Well, they come back early, and on a toss play, Lincoln Coleman gets big yardage. From the 19 all the way down to the 5-yard line, a gain of 14. They have got a running game, and Coleman comes up limping.
Well, this is just a great run. It's that toss sweep again, and Coleman does a great job of, watch him, he reads the tackle by Boyd and jumps over it, but keeps his feet and then rolls right over the top of Kevin Scott.
Did you see him belt Kevin Scott?
Whoa.
Just knocked him about 4 yards backward.
Talk about an out-of-control freight train.
Holy mackerel. 43 seconds to go, and it's first down outside the 5.
Timeout Detroit. 1 timeout remaining.
So the Fury called the timeout with 43 seconds to go, and Detroit leading 41-38 here in Grand Rapids. We'll be right back.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We have a beautiful day in store. Mrs. Johnson is having to go a long way for the paper. She's got it and the field is open. But wait, something doesn't seem right. She should be back to the front door by now. She's holding her back and she can't seem to stand up. You don't have to be an athlete to get injured or get treated. Michigan Sport and Spine Center emphasizes prevention, education, and rehabilitation so you can get back in whatever your game is and back to living. Michigan Sport and Spine Center, official and exclusive team doctors for the Detroit Fury.
Well, a turnover here would be awfully nice, wouldn't it?
Be great. If I'm the Fury, though, I think back to the 2 touchdowns Grand Rapids had scored on those little throwback routes, okay, where they put the man in motion and all the action goes one way, wide side of the field, and then they throw the ball back to the short side on a receiver in motion, breaking back underneath the flow.
Real Wells in the game defensively for Mouse Davis. Right up on the near side, covering Odoms. Handoff inside, and a big fullback second effort, and he's into the end zone again. Chris Ryan. Oh, man,
He is a load, but you've got to make that tackle. I mean, he stopped, and you've got to wrap running backs up. You cannot shoulder tackle them, arm tackle them, or tackle them by an ankle.
Ryan's done it all tonight. 2 rushing touchdowns and an interception.
Hey, talk about execution offensively, you know, where you don't throw interceptions, you make the right block. Well, execution defensively is right coverage and doing with fundamentals and executing them and executing fundamentals like tackling and wrapping receivers and wrapping ball carriers up.
Well, the Fury will have to score a touchdown if they intend to win this game. Unless, of course, this extra point is missed, but it isn't. That's a big extra point, 45-41, and now that forces the Fury to score a touchdown, unless, of course, they drop kick one.
I mean, you just got to make tackles. When you've got a man in the open field, and that was Marvin Thomas, you know, you got to keep your feet. Tommy Boyd is like, you got to keep your feet, then wrap a man up. When you don't wrap that guy up, especially if you're a guy that has Ryan's ability as a runner, he's got good balance. He's got great size. If you don't wrap those legs up, he'll find a way putting that hand down, maintain balance, and get that extra yard or two. And that's all he needed. And now the Fury put in a bind with just 39 seconds to come up with a score. But in arena football, that can be a lifetime.
1 timeout remaining for the Fury in those 39 seconds. 45-41. Ryan with 2 touchdowns rushing tonight, 6 on the season for him. And Brian Goins will kick it off. Shondell Tucker is the deep man. The up back is Robert Gordon.
Well, Tucker is one of the real slippery guys on the Fury roster. And if he gets this clean off the net, he can do some damage.
Goins, one of the better kickers in the AFL. Hammers this one. Oh, he got a good foot into it. And it is fielded off that low net by Tucker. And he gets out across the 12-yard line. But it took enough. It allowed the coverage to get down there when it gets hung up on that loose netting on the crossbar. So now with 35 seconds, Mouse Davis looking to design something that's going to get him into the end zone. We got an injured Arcal Trueluck down on the field.
Well, that's something that the Fury did not need to see. He's been, you know, the Iron Man probably of the game tonight for them. Yeah, been outstanding on defense.
He gets our unsung award, if you will. He put a lot of pressure on Dolezal in that opening half. And they're looking, unfortunately, they're looking at that left knee. And Mike Perkins out helping him out. Arcal came over. He was recommended by the St. Louis Rams. But we think this kid can help you out. He certainly has. He's limping off. They'll check him out further, but
well, he's putting some weight on it, but not very much. That's certainly not good to see.
So Arcal helped off. 35 seconds to go. Our player of the game, brought to you by Bud Light, is that man. He's had a terrific night. There's his numbers. Scott Simptonfelder, 21 of 32, 291, 6 touchdowns, 1 interception. So Simpson-Felder with 32 touchdowns on the season. Our player of the game, brought to you by Bud Light, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down. Make it a Bud Light.
Now keep in mind, in the final 35 seconds, the Fury have the opportunity to use a lot of time. They got a lot of time because the clock will stop when you go out of bounds. They have one timeout left. And this is the kind of game, it's a big play kind of game, where you can move the ball quite a ways on this 35 seconds.
Mouse Davis talking it over with the referee about a substitution here. And Kevin Scott is coming out.
Now, Kevin Scott is a defensive specialist. He's not normally an offensive player.
Right.
Oh, man, this really puts a bind on the Fury offense.
We got a lot of...
you got Tucker, Gordon, and Boyd, and Scott.
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting look.
Yeah. Well, Scott's...
Let's see where he lines up.
Yeah, where's he going to line up?
He's going to line up as a fullback.
Oh, my. He's going to line up as the fullback.
Scotty is a fullback. When's the last time he lined up as a fullback? Never. Look out. Here they come. Simpson-Felder rolling and throwing. It's up for grabs, and it is intercepted by Charles Butler Jr. And that'll probably seal the fate of the Fury.
Sure will. And the difference here is Kevin Scott has to play fullback because of the substitution pattern. And what Grand Rapids does is picks on him with a pass rush. And they bring the fullback, and it is Kevin Scott's responsibility to block him. Kevin Scott's not going to block a big fullback. Watch this right here. He's got to block this big guy. He's not going to do that. Forces Simpson-Felder out of the pocket, and he throws the turnover. And turnovers, Mark, we talked about it at the top of the show. They have been the bugaboo of the Detroit Fury, and it continues tonight with a turnover really late in the game, costing them the opportunity to get in position to win. And then late, they get a flag thrown that pushes the ball even closer to the Grand Rapids goal line.
Unsportsmanlike on Tommy Boyd, Jim. So it moves it down to the 16-yard line.
Tell you, in a lot of ways, the Fury deserve a lot better fate than what's happened here this evening. Big thing that's hurt them, the 2 turnovers and the penalties. And that's really been the big story. But you got to love their effort, and that they've come back and hung in there tough against the team that's considered one of the better in the league.
First interception didn't hurt them points-wise because Worthman intercepted it right back. But this second one did them in. 19 seconds, and the Fury call their final timeout.
Well, when you look at this game, where the Fury, they're not that far away, from breaking, having a good one, breaking out of the slump that they're in.
I don't think Mouse wanted him to use the timeout. I think he kind of feels it's meaningless at this point.
Yeah, they got caught with the substitution situation where they had to bring Kevin Scott in and put him at fullback. And that was a situation where they moved Andy Chilcote up from fullback to a end position. He blocked on the line of scrimmage, but that leaves Kevin Scott trying to block a big linebacker coming through on the blitz, the Mike linebacker.
And of course,
and that's a mismatch.
Yeah, and of course, the Rampage knew exactly what to do.
Yeah, here's Kevin Scott, the fullback. He's a defensive specialist. He's not normally going to do that. Here is your linebacker running through, and here's Chilcote, your normal fullback, engaging a man on the line of scrimmage. But the block from Kevin Scott, he just can't get it. He's outmatched and forces Simpson-Felder out of the pocket, and that's after he throws the interception.
Dolzell will run it to kill the clock, and that will do it here in Grand Rapids. Appropriately enough, we have another flag down with 12 seconds to go. This will no doubt be some sort of personal foul. Yep.
You know what, Mark? You're talking about the rivalry. This kind of game would create a bit of a rivalry.
Yes, sir. This kind of game, exactly right.
Tightly fought.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, 23, half the distance to the goal. First down.
There's going to be some folks on the Detroit squad who say, we got jobbed a little by home refereeing. That's what creates rivalries, and maybe we've seen the birth of a big one between Grand Rapids and Detroit.
That'll do it. Now Davis heading to the locker room. He didn't even waste any time to shake hands with Mike Trigg. I think I know what he's doing. He's running after the officials.
He wants a piece of the officials.
He went after the officials. He ran right past and he stopped the officials underneath the tunnel area and then talked to them. Well, Mouse had a mission. It's over here in Grand Rapids. And the Rampage go to 6-1 with the 45-41 victory over the now 2-5 Detroit Fury.
Detroit Fury football was brought to you by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. By Coca-Cola, life tastes good. By your Metro Detroit Ford dealers. And by St. John Macomb Hospital in Warren, official hospital of the Detroit Fury.
Welcome back to Grand Rapids, where the Rampage came out on top, but the Fury had their chance. Our play of the game brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan and Blue Care Network. Chuck Winters with his second touchdown catch. That put the Fury up 41-38. It's our play of the game brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan and Blue Care Network. We're listening, we're learning, for you, for life. So a tough loss tonight for the Fury. Our next Fury telecast on Fox Sports Net is Saturday, June 30th, and it's the rematch. That should be a dandy. The Fury and the Rampage, live coverage beginning at 7:30 p.m. Now for Jim Brandstatter, Matt Derry, I'm Mark Champion saying so long from Van Andel Arena in Grand Rapids. Once again, the final score, the Rampage 45, the Fury 41. You've been watching Detroit Fury Arena Football on Fox Sports Net. Stay tuned for the Detroit Sports Report. It's coming up next.